It was the year 480 BC, and the Persian Empire, ruled by the mighty King Xerxes I, was on the march. Xerxes had assembled one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen, with estimates ranging from 100,000 to over 1 million soldiers. His goal was simple: to conquer Greece and bring the rebellious city-states under Persian control. But standing in his way was a small coalition of Greek forces led by the Spartans and their king Leonidas. At the narrow pass of Thermopylae, this band of warriors would make their stand, facing overwhelming odds in what would become one of the most legendary battles in history. Thermopylae, meaning the Hot Gates, was a narrow coastal pass in central Greece that controlled the only land route between Thessaly and southern Greece. This natural choke point made it an ideal location for a defensive stand, as the Persian army would be unable to use its superior numbers to outflank the Greeks. For King Leonidas, this was the perfect place to confront the vast Persian army and buy time for the rest of Greece to organize its defense. Leonidas led a force of around 7,000 soldiers, but his most famous contingent was the 300 Spartans. These men were not just any soldiers, they were elite warriors, trained from a young age to fight and die for Sparta. Each Spartan warrior was equipped with a large hopland shield, a spear, and a short sword, and they fought in a phalanx formation, a tight-knit shield wall that was nearly impenetrable in close combat. Alongside the Spartans were soldiers from other Greek city-states, including Thespians, Thebans, and Athenians, all united in the fight against the Persians. As the Persian army approached, Xerxes sent an envoy to Leonidas, demanding that the Greeks lay down their arms and surrender. Leonidas famously replied with 2 words, "Molon lebe," meaning "come and take them." This defiant response would echo through the ages, symbolizing the determination and bravery of the Spartans and their Greek allies. The battle began with a series of frontal assaults by the Persians. For 2 days, wave after wave of Persian infantry attacked the Greek phalanx, but they were repeatedly beaten back. The narrow pass worked in favor of the Greeks, neutralizing the Persian numerical advantage. The Spartan warriors, with their disciplined and highly skilled combat techniques, were able to hold their ground and inflict heavy casualties on the Persian forces. But on the 3rd day, disaster struck. A Greek traitor named Ephialtes revealed a secret mountain path to Xerxes, allowing the Persian forces to outflank the Greek defenders. As the Persians marched through the pass and prepared to encircle the Greeks, Leonidas knew that the battle was lost. Rather than retreat, he chose to make a final stand, sending most of the Greek forces away, while he and the 300 Spartans, along with a small contingent of Thespians and Thebans, stayed behind to fight to the death. Surrounded on all sides, the Spartans fought valiantly, knowing that their sacrifice would become the stuff of legend. According to Herodotus, the Spartans fought with such ferocity that even after their spears and swords broke, they continued to fight with their bare hands and teeth. In the end, Leonidas and his men were overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the Persian army, but not before inflicting significant damage on the enemy. The Persians eventually won the battle, but their victory came at a great cost. The stand at Thermopylae had delayed Xerxes' advance, giving the Greek city-states enough time to prepare for the larger conflict to come. The bravery of the Spartans and their allies had also inspired the rest of Greece, uniting them in the fight against the Persian invasion. In the months that followed, the Greeks would go on to win decisive victories, most notably at the Battle of Salamis, where the Athenian navy defeated the Persian fleet, and the Battle of Plataea, where a united Greek army finally drove the Persians out of Greece. The legacy of the Battle of Thermopylae endures to this day. It has become a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the willingness to fight against overwhelming odds in defense of freedom. The story of the 300 Spartans and their last stand continues to inspire warriors, scholars, and leaders around the world. It reminds us that even in the face of certain death, the human spirit can triumph over tyranny and oppression. Today, visitors to the site of Thermopylae can see the monuments commemorating the battle, including a statue of Leonidas inscribed with the famous words, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie."